Rivers State's Independent Electoral Commission, RISEC, has refuted claims by the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, in Rivers State, denying the release of the voter registration manifest to RISEC. According to RISEC, they received documents from INEC as far back as November 2023. This was disclosed by RISEC Commissioner for Public Affairs and Civic Education, Tobin Tamuntoye, during an exclusive interview where he addressed the issues surrounding the court ruling against the release of voter registration details. Tamuntoye also affirmed that nothing was hindering the elections as the commission is strictly adhering to the law. The Chief Judge of Sokoto State, Mohammed Safawa, on Wednesday inaugurated a 9-member tribunal to oversee petitions related to the local government elections held on September 21 in the state. The tribunal is divided into with each panel consisting of a chairman and 2 members assigned to one of the state's 3 senatorial districts. In his address, the Chief Judge urged the members to uphold the highest ethical standards and avoid compromising their duties. He emphasized the importance of diligence, integrity, and adherence to the principles of the legal profession. Sifawa highlighted the importance of their task, saying that it was not only crucial for the state but for the nation as a whole. The CJ also reminded the members that the assignment was at the time sensitive. It encouraged them to handle petitions swiftly and with due care. The chairman are Justice Mohammed Murafa, Sokoto North, Justice Mohammed Bello, Sokoto South, and Justice Junaidu Altain, Sokoto East. With a few weeks to the gubernatorial elections in the Ondo state, the deputy governorship candidate of the Social Democratic Party, SDP, Susan Gbemisola Alabi, has resigned her membership from the party. Alabi disclosed this after notifying the governorship candidate of the party, Bamidele Akimboye, of her decision to step down as his running mate in a letter addressed to the party's standard bearer and national chairman of the party, Shehu Musa Gabam. In the letter addressed to Akimboye, Alabi stated that her resignation from the party takes immediate effect. She, however, did not indicate the reason why she dumps the party or her next political destination. Still to come, IMT Enugu confirms students' deaths, announces measures following tragic incident. NIHSADG pledges commitment to sustainable water management in Nigeria. Do stay with us. The Institute of Management and Technology, IMT, Enugu, is observing 3 days of mourning in honor of Chiamaka Ozobundu, a student of Peaceland College, Enugu, who lost her life in a tragic road accident within the IMT premises on Monday, September 30, 2024. The school also suspended all outstanding examinations and other activities in the institution following the death of Chiamaka, who was crushed to death by a student driver who was celebrating the end of his final examination in the school. In a statement in Enugu, the acting rector of IMT, Emeka Ejim, expressed condolences to the family of the deceased and extended sympathies to all those affected by the untimely death of the student. That following an emergency joint meeting of the management and academic board held on Wednesday, October 2nd, 2024, the institution banned all forms of within IMT premises. It also km/h speed limits within the campus, with violators subject to arrest and prosecution, restriction of law enforcement's escorts within the campus, stricter examination protocols, and compulsory gate pass for all students entering the campus. The statement adds that the IMT management will collaborate with security agencies and the family of the deceased to ensure that justice is done in the matter, while the two students who got injured in the unfortunate incident receive appropriate medical care. Amid incessant floods and the resultant destruction of homes, farmlands, and other infrastructure, Director General, Nigeria Hydrological Services Agency, NIHSA, Omar Mohammed, says the agency is taking measures to address climate change in the country. Singapore TV correspondent Nasiru Usman spoke with the Director General on the flood crisis in Nigeria. I beg, this place on the hot too. I said, this place. As Emirates Airline returns to Nigeria after 2 years, the Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development, Festus Keyamo, SAN, says more destination options will be open for indigenous carriers. Keyamo, who made the remarks on arrival aboard an Arab Emirates UAE in Lagos, assured that the airline has returned to stay. The bilateral air service agreements discussed was to secure the routes for local operators. He said that local carriers now have the opportunity to fly into any destination in the UAE. Keyamo applauded the support of President Bola Tinubu in the agreement on return of the airline, saying that the relationship between the two countries have been restored. And now for the latest on trending business news from around the world, over to our business desk. Mhm. 331 million trips. China is seeing a surge in holiday travel. Can you beat that? 331 million trips. Damn it. Jeez, someone please remind me how much China is. How much in terms of population? There are actually over 1 billion people in China. Last check, I think 1.4 billion people in China. Those were 331. I mean, that's even more than some countries put together. It's even actually more than it's more than Nigeria. The number of trips, the surge in the number of trips for China, the number is actually higher than the entire population of the country of Nigeria. Is that crazy? So the fight between Israel and Iran that is brewing has made oil prices rise, and nobody knows what Israel is going to do, even though Israel have said it's a big mistake for Iran to have thrown those amount of ballistic missile into Israel. It's going to be devastating.
Coming live. from Oshi. So
It's gonna be devastating.
children will come in live. So when they play, you take her
On Zoom.
on Zoom. Upstairs.
So there will be some interesting moves in the next few days. I just hope things don't. Um, that move by Iran is so daring, so daring. We might have a serious war in our hands. A serious war in our hands. So I'm hoping there's some sort of de-escalation somewhere, somehow. The war should de-escalate because anything is possible de-escalate. We'll not have issues. The world hasn't even healed from the war between Ukraine and Russia. We still have the ripple, felt around the world, and we're having another one in the Middle East: Israel versus Lebanon versus Iran versus Gaza. The country is taking on everyone, and so Russia is talking tough and really, really tough.
They brief you.
Sorry?
They brief you about Chinaman.
Yes.
You're calling her or she's calling you?
No, no. They'll tell me when she's on because she's going to be on Zoom.
You ask her where she is now.
Huh?
You ask her where she is now, where she's reporting from now.
You mean Chinamera?
Uh,
Yes. No. Is she online? Is she online already? Is Chinamera online already? Still to come. Some more after the break. Is she online? Welcome back. You're watching Global News on Signature Television. Ukraine's State Emergency Service on Thursday released footage revealing the aftermath of a devastating bombing that left an apartment building in shambles in Kharkiv, with rescue teams scrambling to save those trapped amidst the rubble. Local officials said the Russian guided bomb struck a five-story apartment block in Kharkiv, Ukraine's second largest city, late on Wednesday, starting fires and injuring at least 10 people. President Volodymyr Zelensky said the strike, the latest in a long series of attacks on the city, underscored the need for more help from Ukraine's Western backers. He pointed out to Iran's strike on Israel as an example of an allies working together, saying that in order to stop Russian strike, Ukraine must receive the necessary and, most importantly, sufficient help from the world, from our partners. Located 30 kilometers from the Russian border, Kharkiv has been a frequent target of Russian forces throughout that more than 2.5 year war. Smoke fills the sky. Israel continues to strike Dahiyeh. Hezbollah leader Hassan Nasrallah was killed last week. Rubble and debris from the persons and vehicles are seen as residents of Dahir are fleeing hometowns as Israeli military issues orders for evacuation from specific neighborhoods in the southern suburbs of Beirut, warning in a statement that it will hit Hezbollah targets in buildings there. 46 people have been killed and 85 wounded in Israeli strikes on Lebanon in the past 24 hours, the Lebanese Health Ministry say in a statement early Thursday. UN Special Coordinator in Lebanon, Janine Hennis Plastert, said on X on Thursday that it was another sleepless night in Beirut with the blasts shaking the city. Meanwhile, a weakened and weird typhoon Krathon slammed into southwestern Taiwan. 2 people so far and forced it to shut down the second day with hundreds of flights grounded and financial markets closed. Krathon made landfall as a much weaker Category 1 typhoon around midday at major ports of more than 220 kilometers per hour. The government, though, still warned people to stay at home, given torrential rain, strong winds, and storm surges coinciding with high tide. Typhoons often hit Taiwan's east coast facing the Pacific, but Krathon is unusually in that it directly hits the wind because of how it's hovered off the coast before reaching land. The typhoon is weakened further into a tropical depression by late Friday before reaching the capital, Taipei. All right, we are following this developing story. Like we told you early in the morning, that the Vice President Kassim Shettima is visiting Enugu State today. We have our correspondent on that trail. Chinemere, good afternoon to you. Chinemere, can you hear me? Please tell us exactly where you are and what's going on there. It looks like it's a beehive of activities. We understand that the Vice President of Nigeria has just arrived in Enugu State, Southeast Nigeria, and he's expected to visit the International Conference Center and other places that is under massive construction by the Enugu State government. Okay, we can also see some members of the opposition political party. That's Mr. Watu, that's Labour Party representative there. So we would keep you up to speed. It's still a developing story, and our correspondent would also give us an update on what's been going on down there. And by the way, U.S. President Joe Biden has visited South Carolina to assess damage wrought by Hurricane Helena. Biden participated in an aerial tour of the area around Greenville, South Carolina, and is expected to meet with flood victims. South Carolina Governor Henry McMaster greeted Biden as he arrived and briefed him on recovery efforts. Biden later received an operational briefing in Raleigh, North Carolina, as rescuers scour the state's mountains for survivors. Helena has killed at least 140 people in the southeastern U.S. Biden quickly made major disaster declarations in several states, which allows survivors to apply for federal assistance. The arrival of the first Jewish high holidays since the October 7th attacks is causing New York City to up its security measures. The uptick here in New York City has been home to protests both in city streets and on college campuses as the conflict expands its reach. I beg, I forget remote control.
Families come together, neighbors prepare for Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. Our city is going to make sure break and congregate weekend free of fear. The NYPD is working with our law enforcement partners, city, state, and federal levels to ensure that every New Yorker, every community, and house of faith is safe. There will be protections that you will see, and there will be many that you will not see. You can expect an increased police presence at key locations and houses of worship. You will notice more of them in uniform. We will have an omnipresence, visible presence of uniformed personnel. I also want to point out that what we are witnessing is an increase in hate. Our Muslim brothers and sisters are also increased in Islamophobia. We're seeing an increase in these other areas. And so while we're going to ensure the safety.
New York City is home to some 1.5 million Jews, the largest Jewish population of any metropolitan area outside of Israel, according to the UJA Federation of New York. United States warned Iran at the United Nations Security Council against targeting it or Israel as UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres said the deadly acts or deadly cycle of tit-for-tat violence must stop in the Middle East.
Close coordination between the United States and Israel, Iran fell to its objectives. This outcome does not diminish the fact this attack, intended to cause significant death and destruction, marked significant escalation by Iran. It does not negate the need for immediate council action. This is a moment for this council to speak out with one voice and condemn Iran for its unprovoked attack against a member state, and equally important to impose serious consequences on the IRGC for its actions. Colleagues, in a broad sense, Iran was complicit in the October 7th attacks on Israel, funding, training, capabilities, and support for the milling of Hamas, and after in ways that would risk propelling the region broader war. The IRGC flagrantly and repeatedly this warning. I can think of no starker example of state support of terrorism than launching ballistic missiles to avenge the death of a terrorist leader. It is indefensible and it is untenable. And we have a collective responsibility as members of the council to impose additional sanctions on the IRGC for terrorism and for flaunting so many of this council's resolutions. We are also committed to doing everything possible to end the war in Gaza, where Palestinian civilians have been caught in the crosshairs of war. Dire humanitarian crisis persists. That's why we're working to bring ceasefire deal with release of hostages, consistent with Resolution 135. The events of the past week should send Libya's message to Hamas's leadership, which continues to power beneath Gaza. Hezbollah and Iran will not rescue you. The only path forward is a ceasefire agreement. We must double down diplomatic solutions that would ensure the safety of people across. As President Biden emphasized following yesterday's attack, the United States is fully supportive of Israel. Our actions have been defensive in nature. Let me be clear, the Iranian regime will be held responsible for its actions, and we strongly against
The 15-member council met after Israel killed the leader of Lebanon's Hezbollah and began a ground assault against the Iran-backed militant group, and Iran attacked Israel in a strike that raised fears of a wider war in the Middle East. And that's the news this hour. Many thanks for watching. Charles Pius is my name. Good afternoon. Thank you for watching. See you on the next one at 6. So join me. And by the way, stick around. We'll be following the developments as it relates to the Vice President visiting Enugu State. For the first time since the inauguration of the President in May 29, 2023, it's the first time he is coming on board to Enugu State. So he will be taken around the state, showing certain construction being done in and around the state. So we'll bring you up to speed. Thank you. Take care.